Question C2 says determine whether CB passes through the midpoint of line AD. So we're trying to figure out if CB will pass through that midpoint that we just calculated, call it M. And in order to do that, there are a couple of ways that you could, two methods rather, that you could use to try and figure this out. The first one's more straightforward, but that's the one I'll discuss. So if we have, or if we're trying to find if a line passes through a certain point, it's easier to compute the gradient. So if we can compute the gradient from C to B and find that it's equal to the gradient from M to B, that means all these points are collinear, and collinear points lie on the same line. So here we can have the gradient first of all for CB. So gradient for CB, that will be the change in y. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 in this case will be, we can use C, so that will be 4 minus 7 all over minus 3 minus negative 7, which will be plus 7. And the answer that we get from this is minus 3 over 4. Then you can also calculate the gradient from M to B or from M to C, whichever way. So let's take it from M to C since it's closer. This will give us, if we start again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then y2 can be C again, 4 minus 9 over 2 all over minus 3 minus negative 9 over 2. That will give us minus 1 over 3. And we can see that the gradient for CB is not equal to the gradient for MC. Therefore, we can say that CB does not pass through M, which is the midpoint for AD. We can specify that midpoint of AD. So that's how you do it in this case. The other way, I'll just discuss it. What you could do is you could get the equation of the line that goes from B to C, like that. So you could get the equation of this line in terms of y is equals to mx plus c, which shouldn't be difficult because the gradient, we actually have it from here. We just calculated it, or you could calculate it if you were to start with this method. And then since you have already two coordinates that are on that line, you can just substitute any one of them, C or B, and you can get the equation. Then what you will do is you substitute x as minus 9 over 2. So you put x as minus 9 over 2. And if the y that you get is not positive 9 over 2, that means M does not lie on that line. And yeah, therefore you will have proved that CB does not pass through the midpoint of AD.